Morning came gray and heavy. I hadn't slept at all. Every corner of the house dripped with quiet betrayal. Coffee tasted like metal on my tongue. I sat at the kitchen table, surrounded by damp paperwork. Contracts, certificates, inspection reports, all neatly forged lies. My brother Leo's name appeared on nearly every page. He was my real estate agent, my guide, my blood. I trusted him more than anyone else. He had told me, "This house is a gift, Nora. It's your start." Now the gift was rotting from the inside. The roof certificate claimed 15 years of durability. The foundation report said no visible cracks. But the basement floor was splitting open. Water stains crawled down the hallway like veins. My fingers shook as I compared signatures. They didn't match. The inspector's name was unfamiliar, the license number off by 1 digit. A mistake too perfect to be accidental. I searched online for the company listed on the papers. No results. No address. No website. It didn't exist. My stomach dropped. Leo had handled every step of the process himself. He'd insisted I didn't need to stress. He said, "You're too emotional for this kind of thing." Maybe he was right. Or maybe he knew exactly what he was doing. The rain outside grew louder, pressing against the windows. I dialed his number. He didn't answer. I tried again. Still nothing. I texted him, "The house is leaking. The foundation is cracked. Call me." Minutes crawled by without a reply. Then a message finally appeared. "Relax, Nora. Old houses settle. It's normal. I'll check tomorrow." Tomorrow felt like a lie. The house was sinking tonight. I called Mom next. Her voice was cold, rehearsed. "Your brother did everything for you. Stop being dramatic." I wanted to scream. I wanted her to come see it with her own eyes. But she wouldn't. She never did. She'd always believed Leo knew best. The golden son. The one who made things happen. I was the emotional one. The cautious one. The one who never believed fast deals and easy promises. But I believed him. That was my first mistake. I closed my laptop and stared at the damp ceiling. The sound of water became unbearable. Each drip a reminder that something larger was unraveling. Not just the house. My family. My trust. The life I'd built around their approval. I went to the drawer where I kept every receipt, every message. Proof of what I'd signed. Proof of who had lied. The papers were soaked at the edges. Ink bled into soft gray lines like tears. I pressed my hand flat against the table. The surface was cold, slick, trembling slightly with each raindrop above. That's when I whispered it out loud for the first time. He knew. The words felt like thunder in my chest. And once spoken, I couldn't take them back. By sunrise, the storm had quieted. But my house still groaned like something alive. I called my friend Clara. Her voice was sharp with concern. "You sound awful. I'm coming over." She arrived an hour later with a man named Mark. He carried a heavy tool bag and a quiet confidence. "Let's see what your brother sold you," he said. We started in the living room. The ceiling sagged slightly, water stains blooming like bruises. Mark tapped the plaster with a screwdriver. It crumbled instantly. He frowned. "This isn't new damage. It's been happening for months." My chest tightened. He moved from room to room, marking walls with chalk. Each tap revealed more decay. Underneath the paint were thin layers of cheap filler. Someone had patched over the cracks instead of fixing them. When we reached the basement, Mark knelt by the foundation wall. He scraped away a gray patch of cement. It fell off like wet paper. Behind it was a dark fissure, wide enough to slip a coin through. He took a slow breath. "They hid this. Whoever sold you this house knew." Clara glanced at me, her face pale. "Your brother arranged the inspection, right?" I nodded. Mark stood, brushing the dust from his hands. Then he arranged the cover-up too. The words cut deeper than the cold air in that basement. I stared at the crack until my eyes blurred. This wasn't a mistake. It was deception, planned and polished. We went upstairs, and I laid the documents on the table. Mark flipped through them, frowning deeper each minute. The inspector's name, Martin Keller, he muttered. I've worked here 20 years. No one by that name. He pulled out his phone and searched. Nothing. He tried the license number. It belonged to another man, retired 3 years ago. He set the papers down. This is fraud, plain and simple. Clara placed a gentle hand on my shoulder. You need legal help, Nora. My throat burned, but I nodded. Mark took photos of the foundation, the cracks, the fake repairs. The flash illuminated the truth in every corner. I couldn't stop trembling. Part of me still hoped Leo would call, explain, apologize. But deep down, I already knew he wouldn't. He'd built this entire lie for profit, not for me. I whispered to Clara, he used me. She didn't argue. She didn't have to. Outside, the rain began again, soft and mocking. Mark packed his tools, his expression grim. I'll send you a full report tonight, he said. It's bad, but at least now you know. As they left, the house felt heavier than before. I sat alone at the kitchen table, surrounded by the sound of dripping. Each drop echoed like a countdown. To confrontation. To truth. To the moment I'd finally stopped being afraid. The storm wasn't over. It was just beginning. I didn't sleep that night. The sound of dripping had become my heartbeat. By morning, I had a plan. Clara sent me a number for a real estate lawyer named Victor. His office was small, quiet, and smelled faintly of coffee and paper. He listened as I spoke, every detail spilling out like confession. When I finished, he didn't look shocked. He looked angry. This isn't neglect, he said. It's calculated fraud. Your brother broke the law. The word fraud echoed in my mind. I wasn't imagining it anymore. Victor spread my documents across his desk. He marked them with a pen, connecting signatures and dates. These are forged. The inspection company doesn't exist. He looked up, his eyes steady. You need to confront him, but not alone. I nodded, numb but resolute. Later that day, I texted Leo. We need to talk, tonight. He replied within minutes. Fine, Mom and I will come over. Mom, of course. I cleaned the table, set out the papers, every page a silent weapon. The doorbell rang just as the rain started again. Leo entered first, confident as ever. Mom followed, her perfume thick with tension. What's this about? She asked, glancing at the cluttered table. I pointed to the inspection report. Did you know this company isn't real? Leo laughed, too easily. Don't be dramatic. Paperwork gets mixed up all the time. I slid another document toward him. The foundation estimate. You knew about the cracks. His smile faltered for a second. Mom crossed her arms. You're accusing your own brother. I'm asking for the truth, I said quietly. The truth is that you should be grateful, she snapped. Leo helped you buy a home. Helped me, I said, voice trembling. He sold me a lie. Leo leaned forward, voice cold now. Be careful, Nora. You don't know what you're saying. I know enough, I replied. I opened Victor's folder and showed them the comparison signatures. Different handwriting, different ink. Mom's face went pale, but she stayed silent. Leo stood abruptly, knocking his chair back. You think you can ruin me over a few leaks? It's not just leaks, I said. It's my savings, my trust, my home. He grabbed his jacket. Then do what you have to do. He stormed out, slamming the door. Mom lingered by the doorway, her voice trembling. You're destroying this family. No, I said. You already did. When the door closed, I exhaled for the first time in hours. The house was silent again, except for the rain. I picked up my phone and texted Victor. "It's done. They know I'm not backing down." His reply came fast. "Good, now we fight on your terms." Outside, thunder rolled across the sky. Inside, I felt something shift, fear turning into resolve. For the first time, I wasn't the victim anymore. The backlash came faster than I expected. By morning, my phone was full of messages. Relatives, coworkers, even old friends. Each one asking the same thing. "Why are you suing your brother?" Leo had moved first. He posted online that I was unstable. He said I was trying to ruin him over minor home repairs. Mom shared his post with a heart emoji. The world believed them before I could speak. I sat on my couch, shaking, reading every comment. Some people pitied me. Most called me greedy. Victor told me not to respond. "They're baiting you. Stay quiet. We'll use evidence, not emotion." But staying quiet felt like suffocating. Then came a letter from the bank. Leo had contacted them, claiming I falsified loan details. My hands went cold as I read it. They were trying to destroy me completely. I called Victor immediately. He sounded calm, almost too calm. "This is intimidation. It means they're scared." He asked for every message, every letter, every screenshot. We documented everything. Still, the pressure grew heavier each day. Mom called that evening, her voice dripping guilt. "You're tearing the family apart. Just drop it, Nora." "I'm protecting myself," I said. "You're protecting your pride," she snapped. I ended the call before she could say more. The silence afterward was deafening. Clara stopped by later with dinner and a small smile. "They're panicking," she said. "It means the truth is working." She wasn't wrong. 2 days later, my father, who'd stayed quiet through all this, came to see me. He looked tired, older than I remembered. He held a manila envelope in his hands. "I found these in Leo's office," he said softly. Inside were contractor estimates, dated months before my purchase. $40,000 for foundation repair. $25,000 for roof replacement. Every page marked urgent. He sighed, guilt clouding his eyes. "I thought he fixed it before selling. I didn't know." I believed him. And for the first time, I didn't feel completely alone. Victor's reaction was immediate. "This is gold, direct proof he knew about the damage." We scanned, printed, and added the documents to our growing file. That night, Leo called. His voice was sharp, desperate. "You have no idea what you're doing. You'll regret this." "I already regret trusting you," I said. He went silent for a beat, then hung up. Minutes later, another message arrived. "Mom again." "She's lost her mind," it read, but this time it wasn't sent to me. She had accidentally texted the family group. Every cousin, every aunt, every witness. I didn't reply. The truth no longer needed my defense. It was building its own momentum, like a storm gathering strength. By the next morning, Victor texted just 2 words. "Time up." And I knew the real battle was about to begin. The courthouse smelled of rain and nerves. I sat beside Victor, clutching a folder of evidence. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. Across the aisle, Leo adjusted his tie, pretending confidence. Mom sat behind him, eyes hidden behind dark glasses. Her expression was unreadable. The judge entered, and the room fell silent. Leo's lawyer spoke first. He painted me as a bitter sister, blinded by resentment. He called the leaks routine maintenance issues. He said I was overreacting, trying to profit from family tragedy. Each word felt like a knife twisting slowly. But Victor didn't flinch. When it was his turn, he stood calmly and began his dismantling. He laid the photos of the cracked foundation on the screen. He displayed the fake inspection report. "This signature," he said, Belongs to a retired inspector. He never saw this house. The courtroom murmured. The judge leaned forward. Then Victor showed the contractor estimates my father had found. Dated 3 months before the sale, he said. Clear evidence that Leo Andrews knew the property was unsafe. Leo's lawyer objected, claiming the documents were old. The judge overruled him without hesitation. Then came the witnesses. Mark testified first, describing the patched walls and hidden fissures. The repairs weren't repairs, he said. They were makeup over a wound. Next was the original owner. He looked Leo straight in the eye. I told your client about the foundation damage, he said. He said his family would handle it privately. Leo's color drained from his face. Victor pressed on. Finally, the certified inspector took the stand. He pointed to the document projected on the wall. That's not my signature. I was recovering from surgery during that time. A gasp rippled through the audience. Even Mom lowered her head. The judge called for silence. When it was my turn to speak, my voice shook but didn't break. I trusted him, I said. My own brother. I gave him everything I had. I lifted a photo of the flooded basement. This is what trust cost me. The judge watched without blinking. Victor handed her the final exhibit, a comparison of forged signatures. When she looked up, her tone was final. There is no question of intent, she said. This was deliberate deception. She paused, eyes on Leo. You exploited your sister's trust for personal gain. The gavel struck once. Judgment for the plaintiff. Damages awarded, $200,000. The air left my lungs all at once. Leo sank into his chair, pale and silent. Mom began to cry, but I couldn't look at her. Victor squeezed my shoulder. You did it, he whispered. Outside, the rain had stopped. The sky was clear, washed clean. For the first time, I felt weightless. Justice didn't erase the pain, but it gave it meaning. And for the first time in months, I could finally breathe. 3 weeks passed after the verdict. The house stood silent, empty, waiting for my decision. I walked through its halls one last time. Each crack, each stain told a story I no longer needed to carry. The rain no longer scared me. It was just weather now. I listed the property honestly, every flaw detailed in the report. Within days, there were offers, real ones this time. No lies, no hidden damage, no fake smiles. Clara helped me pack, while music filled the empty rooms. This place doesn't deserve you, she said softly. She was right. The house had been my prison and my teacher. I signed the sale papers without hesitation. The settlement money sat in my account, untouched. It didn't feel like victory. It felt like closure. Leo's license was officially suspended. The commission opened an investigation for criminal fraud. Mom stopped calling. Her silence was colder than her words had ever been. Dad and I met every weekend now. We talked about simple things, coffee, news, small jokes. Sometimes he'd pause and say, I should have seen it. And I'd answer, we both learned. He joined a local housing protection group with me. We started teaching new buyers how to check their contracts. The first night we spoke to a crowd, my hands trembled. But when I saw their faces, I found my voice. Don't ignore small leaks, I said. They're usually warnings of something bigger. Afterward, a young woman thanked me through tears. Her story mirrored mine. That night, I finally felt the weight lift completely. Months later, I found a new place. A small house with bright windows and a solid roof. The inspector spent hours walking through it. Every word he said was clear, honest, precise. When he finished, I smiled. This time, I believe you, I told him. On the first rainy evening there, I made tea and watched the storm. The drops tapped gently against the glass, harmless and calm. Clara visited with flowers and a grin. Feels different, doesn't it? She asked. I nodded. It feels safe. We toasted to new beginnings, to truth, to survival. Later, Dad called. He'd just helped another couple avoid a bad deal. "You've started something good," he said proudly. I looked around my new living room. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. Every wall stood firm, every corner dry. Trust had been rebuilt from the ground up. Family, I realized, isn't defined by blood. It's defined by who stands beside you when everything cracks. As the rain slowed, I whispered to myself, I made it through. Outside, the clouds broke open to reveal soft light. And for the first time in a long time, the storm was truly over. The housewarming night felt like a quiet victory. Friends filled the room with laughter and warm light. Clara poured wine, while Dad adjusted a photo on the wall. It was a picture of my new home under a clear sky. No stains, no cracks, no secrets. We raised our glasses together, a small circle of trust. "To new beginnings," Clara said with a smile. I looked around at the people who stayed when others didn't. Their presence meant more than the walls around us. Outside, rain began to fall again, soft and familiar. But this time, it didn't frighten me. The windows held firm. The sound was gentle, almost comforting. Dad caught my eye and nodded quietly. We had both rebuilt in our own ways. The past hadn't vanished, but it had lost its power. I thought of Leo, of Mom, of everything that broke. And I realized not every storm is meant to destroy. Some wash away what was never strong enough to last. I took a deep breath and smiled. For the first time, the rain sounded like peace.